Hey everybody, what's up y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Tammy Talks here. Let's go ahead and talk Power Book 2, Ghost, Season 2, Episode 10, Love and War. This was the Season 2 finale. I thought it was great. It was all action-packed, all 75 minutes of it. So, if you're brand new to my channel, I do breakdowns of various TV shows, both scripted and reality, interjecting my own thoughts, opinions, and theories into each recap. So, if you enjoy this type of content, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, thumbs up the video, and hop into the comment section because it is a lot, and I mean a lot to talk about from this episode. Let's go ahead and get started, y'all. So, Mecca tells Monet that they need to be careful when it comes to killing Lorenzo. Monet is like, so why are you backing out? What's going on? You were so sure about it, just a little bit ago. And Lorenzo's really worried about whether or not Kane is going to be a viable alibi. And he said that, can we really trust Kane? And Monet is like, Kane does whatever the hell I tell him to do. Dante is like, oh yeah? Because didn't he sugar your Coke and steal from you and all this other stuff? So he's kind of telling her that, you might think you got a leash on Kane the way that you do, but you really don't. So Monet is like, that's right, so let's have Kane kill Lorenzo, and that'll really prove his loyalty to me, and then, that way we don't really have to get that involved with it. Back at Stansfield, Tariq is waking up the next morning with Effie, and he's trying to call Lauren. He's getting her voicemail, and he is worried about her. He wants to know, did she get out of town? Did something happen to her? What's tea? Effie wakes up and it's like she probably ditched her phone, but I'm sure she's okay. Effie, you didn't even have to say nothing. Just because we know that you don't like her. So I'm so mad at Effie for killing her. Y'all done sent Paige back to Tyler Perry land. Next thing you know, she gonna be on the next season of Back on the Oval. Look what y'all done did to her. So, but he asked Effie to look after Yaz if he goes to jail, because her adoption is gonna be finalized. And Effie is like, you really trust me to do that? And I'm like, no, girl. He wanted Lauren to do that. You don't even know Yaz. You ain't never seen that little girl. So, but you're all he has left to do it, because who knows where Big Mom is. So back at heading into court, Davis tells Tariq that Trace Weston is going to testify. So Tariq is like, damn. Trace got involved with Kane one night, and while he got involved with them, Ramirez pulled them over. So that's how that's all intertwined. So Sax is like, and where were you? Tariq said, I was with your niece Riley. Back at the dorm room with Riley. So Sax doesn't want to get his niece involved because his sister is still mad at him, and Davis was like, I don't care about that. I will blow up your family to protect my client. So you're going to have to get Riley's ass on down to the courthouse if we need her to be there. So Davis and Tariq are talking, and they know that if Trace testifies about Kane is going to think that it is revenge from Tariq because, he planted that badge in Tariq's room. So the Westons being involved, specifically Trace, it's a mess. So Tariq calls Brayden, but Brayden does not answer. We go straight to his voicemail. Mecca takes Zeke down to the hangar to kind of show him the cars and all this other stuff, and he's trying to get Zeke to go with him. Zeke is like, I don't know if I can trust you, because if you trust Monet, then I don't know if I can rock with you. And Dante is like, you can trust me. I haven't given you a reason not to. Zeke is like, okay. Monet said that she wasn't at Carrie's house that night that she died, and she was with you. Is that true? Mecca talks around in circles. Zeke ain't the smartest, so Mecca talks around in circles, and it's kind of like, lies by omission. It's just another way to show love and all this other bullshit. And I be damned if Zeke falls for it, because he distracts him by giving him, I think that was a Porsche. I don't know cars, but he gives him some fast, expensive car, and Zeke is all smitten by it and forgets everything they were talking about. Zeke is dumb. Zeke is dumb, y'all. So we have Monet and Kane. They are meeting on some bridge, and Kane said that basically, pretty much Kane lied to Mecca. He ain't trying to kill his daddy. He's not trying to run away with him. He was just trying to get them out of that situation inside the house or inside the penthouse. And Monet is trying to tell Kane that he needs to kill Lorenzo. He said, how am I going to kill my dad? We got the whole same name. Look, I'm going to say this. Kane really ain't about that life the way that he tries to portray. And I think this episode is a very good example of Kane being more bark than bite. Okay? So Monet points out that Lorenzo don't respect you. You got his name. You're his namesake, right? So you should be number 2 behind him. But he has Drew, and she just points out like Lorenzo's wearing your chain, but he doesn't respect you. And I'm like, ooh, Monet. So she basically tells Kane either you're gonna be with me or him. It's one of the two. Kane said that if he does that, then Drew and Diana would never forgive him. Monet's like, I'll worry about your brother and sister. And I want to say, you can't do nothing with Diana, Monet. That little girl does not like you. So she tries to give him a gun, and I'm like, just on the bridge. Y'all couldn't go sit in the car and exchange your gun that way. Y'all gonna do it out in the open. Kane doesn't take the gun. So Monet does reverse psychology, and it's like, damn, where's Tariq when I need him? Kane don't like that. So Kane is like, fuck Tariq. We don't need him. And Monet is like, well, Tariq killed his father. So just hearing that little bit of reverse psychology, Kane, of course, has to one-up Tariq. So he's like, oh, if that little pussy nigga killed his father, then I can kill my dad. And I'm like, Kane, whatever. So just that little bit of whatever convinces Kane to want to be able to kill Lorenzo. So he takes the gun from his mother. I said, okay, Kane, like, you're going to have to let this hurt with Tariq go. You're going to have to let it go. So back at the court, Trace is conveniently sick. So Brayden is going to sub in as the next witness. So Brayden is walking in, and Tariq is looking like, I know good and goddamn well. But Brayden doesn't make eye contact with him. So now Tariq has this memory playing of when he confessed to Brayden about killing Jabari. Now Tariq and Brayden have been boys since back at high school, but stuff like that can go out the window when murder charges and all that type of stuff is involved. So Brayden gets up on Sam, and he was like, yeah, no, Tariq, he's my friend. We were friends back at Choate. We're roommates now. And the DA, Jenny, was like, why is Tariq living with you? Tariq was Zeke's roommate. And he was like, well, I had extra room, so I invited him to come stay with me. So then Brayden is like, and that's why I know that Tariq didn't kill Reynolds or Ramirez. And he ends up admitting to him being the one that's selling the drugs. And they're like, why should we believe you? Brayden said, because I built Course Correct. I own Course Correct. That's all on me, baby. So he ends up pulling out that paperwork. Remember, Tariq had Brayden sign off as the owner of Course Correct. So it comes out legit. So Jenny, the DA, who has gotten her ass handed to her all season, y'all. Anytime she is in court, she is getting embarrassed time and time and time again. So she wants to dismiss she wants to approach the bench. She wants the charges dismissed without prejudice, which means that they will be able to retry him again in a different court and redo stuff. Davis said, that's going to be jeopardy. You cannot charge this person for the same crime twice. So the case ultimately gets dismissed. So because of that, Brayden's father is pissed and is like, I don't know why you did that. So Tariq is free to go. That's it. Sax tries to go over to Jenny to talk to her, and she said absolutely not, and she walks away. So back at Davis's office, Davis is celebrating with some champagne, and Tariq is telling him how he wants to get custody of his sister now. Davis is like, why don't you wait? You graduate from school in a couple years, then you'll be more established, then you can focus on, getting your sister out. Tariq was like, no, I'm gonna get her out now. And matter of fact, you owe me a refund because you didn't help me get off. Brayden got me off. And Davis was like, boy, please. So Tariq also tells him, and I know that you're double dipping because your Kane pays you. Because why didn't you tell me that Kane planted that badge? Because you knew that he did. So you're doing, you're double dipping, conflict of interest, all this other type of stuff. Because we gotta remember, Tariq is not dumb. Right? Tariq is not failing the canonical studies program. So Davis reminds him, yeah, go on and file a little complaint that you want to, but that's going to open the case back up against Kane. The Tejadas are not going to go down swinging without a fight. So you're just going to, this is going to fall back on you. This ain't going to work. While Tariq is talking to him, he gets a text from Monet saying that they need to meet up. Once Tariq leaves, Davis calls Kane to let him know that Tariq is off. The case got dismissed. Jenny and Sax meet up at the bar, and she says she knew to look for him there because when he was on the prosecution side, for the state side, that's where he would go whenever he won a case. And she tells him that Lauren is dead. I said, damn. Even without a body, we just going, all right, y'all. So she tells him that Lauren is dead, and she thinks it's her fault because she took off the protective custody once Carrie decided that she was going to go on the stand. So they said Lauren died in a car accident. Her body was apparently ejected from the car, and they found a bag of money and like some clothes or whatever in the car. So she thinks that she was just on a run. Her parents thought that she was going to visit some friends down in D.C. for the weekend. So Jenny thinks that Tariq has something to do with not only Lauren's death, but also with Carrie's death, because she's like, it's just not a coincidence that these two were supposed to be testifying and now they're both dead within like days of each other. It's kind of obvious what's going on. Like everybody that like testifies or is like a witness comes up dead, but the magic of TV, we're going to ignore that apparently. So, Jenny feels that Carrie's death is suspicious. And she's like, you even said yourself, she is not the type to kill herself. And Tax is like, look, you got to think about this. Highly respected, career-driven woman, basically got her ass handed to her up on the stand. It's not hard to believe because I too was there. And he talks about how he was ready to kill himself, which is a scene we should have had because I'm so sick of sex. Back in Power, what was it, season 6, when he got caught for planting that remember that flip phone, that evidence, he planted that on James. And because of that, Tamika found out. And, he was going to get disbarred. He was going to get fired. Remember, he bought that gun and he went on that like bender in his apartment and he was going to kill himself. And he was telling her, you gotta learn to walk away from this. Jenny said she ain't walking away from nothing because walking away is being an accomplice. She's going to keep fighting this. I said, okay, girl. Y'all been trying to take down the St. Patrick family forever and it's not working. It might be time to give up the ghost. So Tariq and Monet. So Tariq meets up with Monet. It looks like they be meeting in a church, which I find troubling. But she wants Tariq to kill Mecca. And he tells her that Mecca is a federal informant. And she was like, a snitch? Yeah, he a whole snitch out here. So she wants Tariq to help. Instead of that, she wants Tariq to help Kane come up with a plan to kill Lorenzo so she can kill Mecca. And he tells her, I'll help, but I need Mecca alive long enough because he owed me some money. I need this money. He's trying to get his sister, and then he wants to get out the game. Monet said, you know what? Fine. If you help me out with this plan, I'll let you walk away. I don't think you can just walk away from the drug game. It's like a game. You can't just walk away. Jumped in, jumped out. I think this is like if Tariq wanted to walk away, he would have to die. So Lorenzo and Monet, she goes and meets up with him at the bar, and she tells him, so now you in here telling everybody else about our marital problems. Okay. So basically she tells Lorenzo that Mecca is Dante. Lorenzo must know Dante from back in the day because he was like, so no, I think just from the dinner. He just kind of put two and two together. So Lorenzo calls Kane one of Mecca's little soldiers. So now he's mad that, Kane has been going back and forth playing the family all against each other. He's like, so he's been keeping tabs on us to turn around and give to him. So Lorenzo wants to kill Mecca himself because Monet has already outlined the plan. Lorenzo is like, I know that you ride for the family. I'm not worried about that. And it's like they had a little kerfluffle. They really shouldn't have even really broke up because she had Zeke before they even got together. So I don't even know why he kicked her out the house. Like, to me, that still doesn't make any sense. So Monet said no, she's going to kill Mecca herself. Lorenzo was on some I protect the family, machismo type shit. And it's like, as long as he dead, who cares who kills him? But in Monet's mind, she's going to kill him. In Lorenzo's mind, he's going to kill him. So we have Lorenzo talking to Drew and Diana, telling them to get on board with the plan. Diana, who don't see it for her mama, said that the plan seems kind of sus to her because why would Tariq be involved? So Diana's like, what if mom is trying to kill you? Talking to Lorenzo. And he was like, don't be crazy. She's not going to do this. We all have to come together and do this because we have to save Kane. So Drew agrees and Diana agrees. Brayden and Tariq, they're back in their dorm room. Brayden is packing. And he turns to Tariq and asks him, like, did you do a sweep of all the drugs? And Tariq was like, no, when would I even have time to go ahead and do that? So Brayden is leaving school. His dad is pulling him out of school. He probably says, you ain't going to be up there acting the fool. Pulls him out of school, says he's going to put him into work in like the family business. So he's heading straight to the workforce where he can be an upstanding citizen. Meanwhile, Brayden now has this like adrenaline drug mentality rush. I'm just waiting for it to come back on Brayden that he helped Kane break into that jewelry store. I have not forgotten about that. That is not going to just blow over the way that Brayden thinks it is. So Tariq asks, was his code used anytime recently to open up the doors? And Brayden was like, yeah, the past couple of times it's been you. So Tariq figures out that Diana must have went in there and took all his drugs. Brayden is like, damn, that's gangster of her. But let's just get some new product. And Tariq will say, no, I'm out the game. I got to take care of my sister and get all this stuff together. He then asks Brayden about Lauren. And Brayden, like, kind of stutters. And it's like, Lauren drove off without him. So Brayden apparently knew that Effie must have set it up to be just like a car accident. Knowing Effie, she probably cut the damn brake lines or whatever. But Lauren was found in like an unmarked car that didn't have plates and all that other type of stuff. So while they're talking, Kane comes in the room and asks Brayden did he take care of everything he needed to do, which includes killing Lauren. Which they didn't even have to kill Lauren at the end of the day because the case got dismissed. So Brayden is like, yeah, I took care of everything, kind of looking at Tariq nervously because he doesn't want Tariq to know that he was in on this plan to get rid of his girlfriend. So Tariq tells Kane, I know why you're here. I forwarded all the calls from the phone to like this burner phone so that it always looks like Tariq is in the room. So Kane is trying to be real, macho bravado with him. And Tariq is like, stop acting like you know what the hell you're doing because you don't. I killed my father because I needed to protect my family. You're going to do the same to protect your family, but you are never the same after this. Never going to be the same. And you can see it all over Kane's face. He doesn't want to do it. He's scared to do it. Like Kane really just wants his father's love and approval. So he don't want to kill him to get it. He just wants him to actually give it to him. So we see Zeke. Zeke goes on over to Detective Whitlock, okay? Asks if he still thinks that Carrie's death was a suicide. Whitlock said, well, yeah, why wouldn't it be? You found her body, kind of on some you don't remember? And Zeke was like, yeah, I just wanted to make sure, and then he leaves. I said, oh, Zeke, you about to get Monet jammed up, and you don't even realize it. So we have Sweeney Tate and the DNC man. I never learned the DNC man's name. I feel like they never said it. I'm sure they did, though. So Sweeney said that the picture was back in college. It was a Halloween party. It's not that big of a deal. I asked him, how'd you even get the picture? Rashad Tate comes over, and it's like, I got it. It could always be blackface makes, whatever step down. Sweeney was like, are you really going to let this BLM bullshit, do this? But basically, they offer Sweeney a deal. Step down, endorse Tate for Congress, and then in 6 months, you can run for Senate, and then I'll turn around and endorse you, and then you'll have the DNC behind you to help propel you up to Senate. Sweeney is like, well, after 6 months, the public will forget about it. But they won't. They will, but they won't career-wise for you. So he reluctantly agrees, and he tells the DNC man, good luck with Tate, because Tate is a handful and he's an asshole. So Kane and Mecca. Mecca tells Kane that Lorenzo and Tariq set up GTG. And that they need to rebuild some trust. So he wants Kane to kill his father as well. Kane is like, how is that rebuilding trust? So Mecca tells Kane that here's a shipment that's being delivered to Lorenzo tomorrow. You can kill him there. So he said that, once he kills Lorenzo, he's going to be leaving with his mom and he can run his entire organization. So Kane is like, well, why don't we just kill Tariq? Because, he can't stand Tariq. And Mecca is like, that's a good idea. He has really overstayed his welcome. But that's not what we're going to do. Not just yet. So, while after Kane, walks away, Tariq gets a call from Mecca that he's going to have his money ready for him tomorrow. And it's like, I see that you're still on campus because, remember, he has the calls forwarded. So then we have Tarik and Elvin. Tariq got custody of Yaz, which I'm like, I don't know how realistic that would be, but Tariq got custody of Yaz, so the adoption was stopped. And Sax shows up to tell him that Lauren is dead. Tariq looks shocked because, he had nothing to do with it. He was like, she's dead. I just told her to get out of town. So he was like, do you think I have something to do with it? And Sax was like, I did, but I guess I don't know. But he's like, who else knew that she was leaving? So now in Tariq's mind, he knows that Brayden and Kane knew. Possibly even Effie. But Tariq is going to keep that in the tuck and pull that out when he needs to. So we have Davis and Sax. Davis is at the office. Sax comes up there and tells him, we have fucking blood in our hands because now Lauren Baldwin is dead. And Davis looks genuinely shocked. And then he was like, wait, you think that I would kill Carrie or have something to do with that? Like, I knew her, we were together, whatever. And Davis, Sax was on some, way up on his little soapbox talking about, well, you, were taking money from the Tejadas and all the other stuff, and you're only putting yourself first. And David said, wait a minute, just like when you framed James St. Patrick. And then Sax had the nerve to look all indignant about it as if he just couldn't fathom that Davis threw something in his face. Yeah, Sax, because you have had a hard-on for this family since forever. Even now, you're supposed to be representing and defending Tariq, and you have been trying to get him to admit to killing somebody that he didn't even kill. I mean, yeah, he killed Jabari, but Tariq didn't kill Ramirez. But let Sax tell it, he did. So he then asked Sax about, Davis asked Sax about his brother's case. He doesn't call him his brother, though. Just gives him the name. And Davis was like, yeah, it's clear he didn't commit the, Sax like, it's clear he didn't commit the crime. The guy is, like, taller than him. So, like, Yeah, we know he's not. It's just a matter of us like working to actually get him out of jail at this point. So Tariq is with Effie, and he tells Effie that Lauren is dead. And he's like, she would be alive if it wasn't for me. Effie was like, yeah, she would be it's not her fault. It's not your fault. You did everything you could to protect her, even though she wore a wire. Like, Effie really wants him to hate Lauren. And it's like, girl, you don't even have to do that no more. The girl is dead because of you. So, like, you don't even have to keep mentioning that she wore a wire. Like, you got the man now. You have him now. Be easy. So Tariq says that everyone around him ends up dead. And he's wondering if him getting custody of Yaz is even the best thing, because he doesn't want Yaz to end up like Raina. And I said, touche. Touche. So now we get Tasha. And I got so excited when I saw Tasha, because that means that Yaz is going to be reunited with her mother. Tasha's in her little shake and go wig, and she's in her house, her, protective custody house. She hears a car in the driveway. So she is shook, because should nobody be coming up to the house. So she picks up her phone, she texts one of the marshals, and they tell her, grab a bag, girl, and run. So she grabs her gun in the bag, and she hears Tasha Edwards at the door. She hears Tasha. So I don't know if she recognized the voice or if she just stopped because she heard her name. And they were saying like special delivery. So she goes to the door, and it's Tamika. And she was like, oh Lord, like her mind probably went to Yaz died or Big Mama died or Tariq died. Tamika said, no, I have good news. And Yaz comes running out. And like I told y'all, Yaz should have been with her mama the whole time. So for y'all that were saying that Tasha was just a terrible ass mother, no, she wasn't. No, she wasn't. She was never going to do anything to put Yaz in harm, to put Yaz in danger. She really wasn't going to do nothing to put Tariq in danger. Tariq was a little asshole of a kid anyways. Yaz is with her mother where she should have been since the end of last season when Tasha got put in protective custody. So, Yaz now has a new name. Her name is Olivia. And Tamika tells them that you don't have a brother. Y'all can't talk about Tariq. Don't ask about Tariq. Tariq should not be here. Meanwhile, Tariq is in the car looking at them, getting to see his mother and his sister, one last time. But Tamika tells her, move on, start your new life together, and Tasha was like, don't underestimate my son. He might surprise you. And Tamika was like, he does. He already has. Low-key, Tamika saw a lot of potential in Tariq. She was just disappointed that he keeps calling her for help, and then he'll turn around and do, like, the dumbest of things. So Tariq is in the car with Sax, and he asks Sax if he knows who Dante Spears is. And Sax said that, yeah, without Dante, that they would have never had an investigation with Angela against Ghost. Now, this is how Tariq keeps getting himself jammed up. Because now you have let Sax know you know who Dante Spears is. So, Drew and Tariq. Drew brings an identical bag like Tariq's to him. And Tariq is like, okay, we're going to use these bags. It's kind of like 3-car Monty. So we're going to have, 3 of us separate with these bags so that we can all see, so they can try to follow us in 3 different ways. They won't know who has the real bag. So Diana's going to have the real bag and go straight home. Meanwhile, they're going to give a bag to Lorenzo, and then Drew himself is going to keep a bag with him. So Drew takes the bag and gives it to Lorenzo while leaving the bag in the car. Makes Diana promise not to look in the bag. And he keeps reiterating to her, do not look in this damn bag. And she's like, fine. I'm like, girl, you're going to look because you don't do nothing that you're supposed to. So he gets a text from Everett that he needs to talk to him. It's an emergency. Meet him before practice. Meanwhile, one of Mecca's men was in the car right next to Drew and tells him that Lorenzo has a bag, but he's still going to follow Drew just in case. Zeke goes back. Lord have mercy. Zeke goes back to the police department, and now they have a picture of Monet's ass in the vicinity by Carrie's apartment around the time of her death. And Zeke said that, yeah, she was coming to pick me up, but then I decided to go see Carrie instead. And Will like is like, that's it? That's all you got to do for Carrie? That's all you have to offer for Carrie? So now he's gonna get back involved, and I'm like, don't act like you cared about Carrie Whitlock. You the one that got her mixed up in this in the first place by accusing her of being a suspect when you had nothing on her that would even suggest that she would have killed Jabari. So Kane and Tariq asks Kane if he knows Lauren. They're sitting in the car outside of the warehouse where the drop is supposed to be from Mecca to Lorenzo. And Kane was like, I thought you were smashing Effie. So Tariq asks Kane, why are you always so worried about me when you need to be worried about what you need to be doing right now? Basically, nigga, focus. Stop asking me what I got going on. Focus. So they go into the warehouse after Lorenzo arrives. And Lorenzo, Kane has an eye shot on Lorenzo. So he's holding the gun up, but then Tariq, and you can see Kane is shaking, just like, because he don't want to do it. You can see all over his face, I don't want to kill my daddy. Or I want to kill my daddy. So Tariq tells him, wait, don't shoot. Because we are here to kill Lorenzo. We here to kill Mecca's people. So now Kane is like, so my mom lied. You weren't ready to do it anyways. You were ready to do it anyways. So now there's this big shootout. All of Mecca's men get killed. Kane goes to get Drew. Tariq goes to get Diana because they were both in on the plan. And Lorenzo has one of Mecca's men. And he uses Face ID and opens his phone and sees a text between that guy and Mecca, saying that we're gonna be around Lorenzo. So and so is watching Drew. Mecca is at his house holding his phone, waiting for a text back because the text said, "Let me know when you're done." He doesn't get a text back, so he texts a Marshall because he's a little bitch, snitch, and tells them that his cover has been compromised. So then he goes into the room because Monet is at the apartment and tells Monet, why don't you just have Tariq come here because we're running out of time. Because, he's ready to kill Tariq. So Monet texts Tariq and it's like, meet us over at, meet me at Mecca's. There's been a piece of hair. There's been a change of plans. So Everett is with Drew. And I'll be damned if, because I was on Drew's side with this. This is not an emergency. But Drew, Everett is mad, and he wants to know if Drew took his badge, because when he went to get a replacement badge, he was in a restricted building that he wasn't supposed to be in. And Drew was like, this ain't no emergency. Everett said, my ability to trust you is an emergency. I said, oh, girl. So he said he has to go because he has to get to practice. Longest basketball season ever. This same basketball season has been going on since season 1. So Everett leaves. Drew goes back to his car. Some same men that were at the park or whatever when they exchanged the bag with Lorenzo were watching him. They knocked Drew out. Look in the bag. The bag is full of paper. It's a decoy bag. So they're beating Drew up, ready to kill Drew. Kane, who somehow knew that Drew would be at the school, comes in, saves the day. It's a big fight between the two of them, and they kick the other guy's ass, basically. So Lorenzo is back at the house with Diana. He asks if everything is going to plan. She says she's heard from her brothers. Those are fine. She has not heard from Monet. He asked her what's in the bag. She was like, I didn't look. And he was kind of looking at her like, girl, I know you looked. So then she starts these crocodile tears. It's not fair that everybody thinks I'm a snitch. Lorenzo said, you're not a snitch. You're not a snitch. You're just a step ahead. But what's in the bag, girl? Because you know that you looked in the bags. What are you crying for? Something about Diana has been rubbing me wrong since she decided to blow up her mama's spot the way that she did. And basically she tells him that it's a bunch of bank documents, like bank accounts, with accounts set up for all of them. But that's all she got to see. So Lorenzo tells her, stay here, do not leave. When your brothers get here, tell them, do not leave. I'll be back. So Tariq shows up to Mecca's building, and he goes up to the front. Mecca is looking at him, lifts the front door, tell him to come in, and then when he turns around, Monet has a gun out on him. And they have this back and forth where Monet is saying, you ruined my life, you ruined Zeke's life. Dante feels like I didn't do anything differently than when you did. They're talking about the shootout, yada, yada, yada. I'll be damned if Dante thinks, talking about something, don't kill me because Lorenzo would never, that Zeke would never forgive you. Zeke don't care about neither one of y'all. Zeke does not give a damn about either one of y'all. So meanwhile, while they're upstairs talking, Dante trying to plead his case to stay alive, Lorenzo was down in the hangar. He sees Zeke pull up. I said, look at this shit here. Because I knew what was going to happen. Zeke gets out, runs over to the plane because now he's decided to go confront Monet, basically. Lorenzo thinks that is Dante, shoots him in the back. Goes over to the car, thinks that Monet is going to be in the car, sees that the car is empty, so he just leaves. Meanwhile, Monet is upstairs. She shoots Dante. Tariq is in the elevator. He hears the gunshot. So, he got his gun ready because like, oh, Lord, do I got to fend for my life again? He gets up there and Monet tells him, I had to kill him because he was getting ready to kill you. So she was like, look, if you want out the game, you can have out the game. He said, well, I didn't get my money. And we need each other now, so I guess I can't leave the game anyways. But he goes and clears the cameras to get all the footage off, right? So then Monet gets home. And she talks to Kane, asks Kane, are we good? Because she knows that Kane is probably going to be kind of upset that she lied to him. And meanwhile, he's like, yeah, we're good. Lorenzo comes home. They see Dante's death is on the news. They don't have any leads, but he's listed as a businessman. So Lorenzo, he was dead in his house. Lorenzo now is looking shook because you didn't kill somebody in the house. You killed somebody at the hangar. So you just killed an innocent person. So Monet is like, where is Zeke? Have y'all heard from Zeke? For whatever reason, Lorenzo, I think, like that fast is able to realize, fuck, I just killed Zeke, but he really don't care. Back at the scene, it is Rodriguez, the same tight-lipped, annoying-ass detective from Power. She now works for the DEA. And she is asking where's the camera footage. She's like, this looks, extensive. There's no footage at all. And this other lady is like, no footage. Everything has been wiped, but we got some long shot stills from downstairs, but the cameraman doesn't remember if anybody suspicious came in. Of course, Tariq is on the stills. You just got out of jail. And now you are about to be implicated or be like a suspect for this too. That's why Yaz needed to go with her mama. That's exactly why. Davis goes to see his brother Redman in jail, tells him that Sax hasn't found anything just yet, and then his brother repeats again, I'd rather die in here. I think he has like cancer or something. But he's like, I'd rather die in here than see you in here. So basically what that tells me, Davis killed somebody and his brother took the rap for him. So Sax is in bed with Jenny, tells Jenny that he is willing to now help her investigate Carrie and Lauren's death. And he now wants to be an informant because he thinks that Davis is getting paid by the Tejadas to cover up something. Let next season be the season that Sax dies. Tariq is talking to Effie, trying to get her to transfer to Stansfield because now he ain't got no friends there. Lauren's dead, and Brayden is gone. So we go back to Tasha. Yaz gives Tasha a letter that's from Tariq. And it's basically Tariq saying that he would do anything to get back to his mother and his sister. Something tells me Tasha is going to be back on Power. I feel like Tasha is going to be out of protective custody. I I think she's gonna be incorporated back into the show though. And then finally, the Tejada family is sitting around the table having dinner, and Monique asks about Zeke again, and like nobody knows, and she like keeps looking at his chair, kind of like damn, because in her mind Zeke is just ignoring her. So then she gets a phone call from Detective Whitlock, who is letting her know that Zeke is dead. And now, Monet, you're going to be a suspect in Carrie's death because your big-headed nephew son decided to go and start asking questions and snooping around and sniffing around when he should have just sat there and ate his food. This was a great season. Looking forward to Force, which starts tonight, which is Tommy's show. Y'all know Tommy's show is going to be crazy. I'll be recapping that as well. So if you have not already, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video, hop into the comment section. Let's talk about what you guys thought about tonight's episode. What do you think is going to happen in season 3? And I will catch you guys in the next one.